Tristan, we
Yes.
we're doing some more Kickstarter news for this episode. We
Yes.
usually we usually are very polite when it comes to Kickstarters because we're like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, this is oh boy. However, this time we're kind of a little bit less oh boy, and we're kind of like bad boy. No. No, this one. Well, this is an odd
Bad Kickstarter. Sick.
Bad
Stay.
I'm gonna rub
No.
I'm gonna rub your nose in the campaign donations. So anyway, no. So what are we talking about here? So I'm not okay. I'm not gonna shit on this Kickstarter entirely because I'm not going to try to. Because here's the funny thing. I kind of want to donate to this Kickstarter out of morbid curiosity. So I'm not trying to shit on it too much. Basically, you guys will see in the description box below the Coleco Evolved Mini Arcades, right? So one of these, the reason why we're talking about this actually is because I mentioned way earlier in the intro, if you guys saw that on this channel as well, or if you're listening to the podcast version, you heard it earlier on in the episode. We're going to talk about this because of Robotech. Because Robotech! You know, that's back. Right? Harmony Gold had their issues, but apparently Robotech is still a thing. Because it is, until like 2020, 2021, I believe. Anyway, so why am I talking about this? Well, the one thing, I want to mention the one positive thing. Like the super duper duper positive thing, no sarcasm, super duper positive. The fact that Rainbow Brite is being acknowledged. I'm not a fan, never really saw it as a kid. I know you didn't either, Tristan. But it's still really nice that they actually are working with someone who's a Rainbow Brite fan to create this RPG Rainbow Brite game. And it's brand new, never been released. So that's something that Rainbow Brite fans can be ecstatic about and can enjoy to actually, when they actually buy these cabinets and they actually support this Kickstarter and they get the cabinets and everything like that, right? So good for them, right? The part where I start to shit on this, at least a little bit, it's two things. One, Robotech being involved. Nothing against Robotech. Robotech fans are going to be like, how dare you? Hear me out, guys. If you don't know, which I assume if you're a Robotech fan, you might know. But Tristan, you didn't know until I told you about this. The Robotech game that's in the cabinet that they're promoting isn't a game that was released on any Coleco console in the past.
Right.
It's actually a Game Boy Advance port.
Right.
So then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me think about this for a second. It would be like a Sega Genesis Mini. And I know people know about the really bad, like, homebrew games that are on those games, Sega Genesis Minis, like Yawning Triceratops. And that's a real game, by the way, Tristan. That's a real fucking game.
Okay.
But it's not a real game as it's not a Sega game. It's like a homebrew, random, like, made in someone's house, you know, on someone's PC game that is on the Sega Genesis Classic type console. Because what happens is Games releases like their clone consoles where they have like all the different Sega games on there, and they only have like 40 games on there, and then the other 40 games are made up brand new games that are really like and they say we have 80 games on this. So then someone buys it thinking 80 Sega games, that's a deal. And even 40 Sega games is a deal. But then you feel duped when you realize 40 of them aren't Sega games.
Right.
Anyway. But it would be like if Sega Genesis Classic had like freaking or a Sega Genesis type clone console, like a Game Gear type clone console. So you're like, oh, this is made like, you know, with Sega's name on it, and it's a Game Gear. That's awesome. And instead of having Sonic games on it, it had like Super Mario World, and you'd be like, I think this is a clone. I think this is illegal. Right, and it's not.
Right.
This is not illegal, by the way. So they went through every channel they could. As far as I know, the Rainbow Brite thing is licensed correctly. The Robotech stuff is licensed as correctly as you can with the issues that Robotech has in the U.S. So in no way am I saying that these are illegal. It's just that it is a problem that when you are promoting these as Coleco cabinets, and people are thinking, what Coleco fighters are we going to get on these cabinets? These are arcade cabinets, tinier ones, but these are meant to be arcade cabinets. What are we going to get? You end up getting a Game Boy Advance port and a brand new game from an IP that never appeared on the Coleco.
Right.
I think if I remember hearing correctly, Rainbow Brite has never even gotten a game. So again, great on Rainbow Brite, great on the Rainbow Brite fans, and even great on the Robotech fans who might enjoy this. Again, I'm even thinking of picking up the Robotech one, to be very honest with you. It's just that in terms of marketing, right, it's very apparent that Coleco, at this point, if you don't know, Tristan, is just a brand name that a company and companies have licensed out. It's
Right.
very apparent at this point that that's all it is. And so again, it's just kind of frustrating. Like, it's not technically illegal, it's not technically fraud because they're telling you what's on these arcade cabinets right off the bat. So it technically isn't fraud, but it does seem a little off, right? If I were to tell you, hey Tristan, this is a I don't know, here's the Dragon Ball Z manga, and you open it up and you're like, this is Bleach. And I'm like, oh right, yeah, it says right here that it's Bleach. But then why is Dragon Ball Z on the cover? Billy, look, man, it says right here that it's Bleach. What do you want? I want to have what what seems to be the promise when you're shown that it's going to be like a Coleco arcade cabinet. I know you and I don't really have much experience with Coleco, but it just feels like in a way you're being duped when you're getting a Game Boy Advance port of a game. When Coleco came out before the Advance was even even a glisten in Nintendo's eye.
Right.
You know? So yeah, that's my take on it. Also, I think when I told you the prices, that's where you were a little shook. You were like, what?
Yeah.
Did you remember the prices, or did you already kind of just mentally bleach them out of your mind?
It was like 80, wasn't it? Or
No. Well, it's okay. So when you pledge to the Kickstarter, it's
Right.
55. Unless you're getting an early bird special for 45, you're actually pledging 55 to get the Coleco Evolve, the Rainbow Brite, or the Coleco Evolve Robotech. However, though, the retail price is $69. And
Right.
no joke, it's actually $69. And you're kind of like, oh, wow. And sure, some people would say, hey, man, but it's an arcade cabinet. But I don't think it's a large one. I'm not saying it's super small, but from the looks of it, they don't look like they're... I don't think I can actually, spread my arms out on it or something like that. Looking at the design, you've seen the design both in the article that I'll link below and we'll link the Kickstarter below as well. The design looks very... it doesn't look like it's built for... First off, the D-pad is shit. Looking at it. No, because looking at it, it's I don't know, man. Because, hear me out, right? Everybody hear me out. Hear me out, everybody, because I feel like I'm going to get some hate comments below, but hear me out. Looking at Rainbow Brite and even Robotech, these are IPs from the 80s. People that would be interested in this would be you, me, and anyone older than us. I know I'm a very small guy. I'm a short guy. But I still feel like looking at this, my thumbs are going to be in so much pain trying to use this D-pad. And then also try to find a way to use these buttons as well. Because, Robotech is a side-scrolling shooter. But
Right.
Rainbow Brite is an RPG. What?
Yeah.
What? An RPG on one of these cabinets? Would you play Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga on one of these cabinets? Would you play Paper Mario on one of these cabinets?
Oh, that's an
what I'm
interesting...
saying. Yeah. Because you can see how small they are, too.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. It's not... Because here, the reason why I was talking about age, right, is because it's not oh, but the kids are going to love these. That's why they're so small. The kids are going to love them. What kids? What kids are like Rainbow Brite? I remember my grandpa talked to me about Rainbow... I'm kidding. We're not that old. I know, we're not that old. But
yeah. You could even go about it, the kid... if they're marketing to kids, they're not going to be the ones to realize, wait, this, the Robotech, this is a Game Boy Advance port.
Yes, very true. But I feel like these prices are also not marketing them to kids, because if they're going to be $69 in a Walmart, who's going to pay $69 in a Walmart other than us, right?
Yeah.
The fans that are older that are like, oh my goodness, Robotech, I love my Robotechs.
Right.
Who's going to be purchasing? Also, another thing I want to mention, and again, this part technically isn't fraudulent, it's just awkward. A Kickstarter means that the product isn't going to be out just yet. I should probably see when they say it's going to be shipped out. June 2018. Okay, June 2018. Let me explain why, Tristan. Because we talked about this. The Robotech license is going to expire in the US within the next 2 years. So... is this product even going to be sold after a certain point?
Right.
Like, after 2 years, are Robotech fans going to be like, yeah, so there's either going to be a liquidation sale, or all of these are just going to be dropped off the face of the earth? So really, this Kickstarter, like, in a way, is it them trying to, like, because they don't mention it in the actual Kickstarter itself, but maybe are they thinking, like, oh, people might really want to get in on these because, heck, they won't legally be able to after a certain amount of time. I don't know, like, it just feels odd, because, again, we know that the license, like, it would be like if, last week we talked about, Saban losing, or, rather not losing, Hasbro purchased the rights to Power Rangers, right? It would be like if Saban was just like, hey, you could buy these, you know, these toys or these DVDs, even though the toys and DVDs are handled by 2 separate companies. Still, it'd be like, hey, you can buy these through us, you know, by next month, and it was like a new release, because then people would think, well, wait a minute, Hasbro's going to own it, that means it's going to be different, that means I need to buy it right now. Like, it feels like a tactic, and I'm not saying it's referenced directly, so that's true speculation on my end. You guys can, I will accept full-on shit for that, because it's full speculation. But it does feel like, I don't know, it feels like some marketing tactic. Because, again, these things can't be sold for the next 5 years. Only the next, like, 2 or 3. And then they're gone. Because Robotech, unless, you know, the Japanese company that owns Robotech, you know, Macross, actually licenses it with, like, Coleco, or the company that owns this Coleco name, and comes to some kind of agreement. Unless that happens, then these cabinets are null and void within the next 3 years. Anyway, but yeah, what's your take on it? I mean, I assume this does not interest you in any way.
Not really, but I mean, I like the idea of a cabinet. It sounds cool. Like, I was never really big on playing, like on arcade cabinets. I've only had the experience once or twice. I didn't grow up with that.
Okay.
But I feel like, especially, not so much Rainbow Brite, but like especially for the Robotech, since it's already a port on a different system, it doesn't feel worth it. Like, if they threw some other titles on there, maybe.
Yeah, because I feel a little odd, because unless
even if
I'm
it did
wrong,
bump up the price a bit, I feel like just a few more games, like you could at least put 3 or 5 different games on there. Then I think it might be a little more worth it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm wrong here, but I looked through the Kickstarter. You did as well. So, guys, comment below. Maybe I'm the idiot here. It doesn't seem like this cabinet is like, oh, we're promoting Robotech, but here's some more games that are going to be loaded onto it. It seems like it's an only Robotech cabinet.
Right, yeah.
In which case, you're paying, if you're getting it retail, $69. I would like to mention, by the way, that when you go through the other, we should be very fair here, more fair than we have been thus far. When you go to the $105 pledge, you can get both of them for $105. So instead of getting them for, you know, $55 each or something, or trying to be like, which one? You can get them for $105. Or if you end up going, this is very interesting, $200. $200, the limited edition Robotech, 30 out of 40 people, there's only 40 of these. This will not be available in retail. This limited edition Coleco Evolved Robotech Mini Arcade is shot in a special gold color. Oh, what?
Oh,
gold?
wow.
Well, I mean, where are my pants? And a special gold color just for the Kickstarter backers. Ideal? Okay, so this is what pisses me off. Let me explain, guys, because this is what pisses me off. Ideal for the Coleco superfan. This isn't a Coleco game.
Yeah.
Guys, this isn't a Coleco game. If this was a Coleco game, even if it was like a Coleco exclusive game, not like Donkey Kong or something that was licensed to someone else, if this was a Coleco game, to me, that means that this is for the Coleco superfan. This is for the Robotech superfan. And even then, only 30 out of 40 were like, I guess my pants are missing. Oh, wow. More for the Rainbow Brite. Good on them. But again, for the Coleco superfan, false. I feel like I'm Dwight from fucking The Office. False. 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 I feel like this is just one giant prank by Jim. Yeah. And, so 35 out of 40 got the limited edition Rainbow Brite. And 30 out of 40 got the limited edition Robotech, and then the all gones are the early bird Robotech. Which, yes, if at $45, I would have bought the shit out of that. I'll be real with you guys. I would have. Early bird Coleco collector pack, $85. That's actually really good for both. And then there was a limited edition 2-pack, which, okay, Tristan, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that we're ripping this apart. But please, Tristan, hear me out here. The limited edition, one of them was $200. The other limited edition was also $200. Guess how much the limited edition 2-pack is?
400.
Correct. That's not a deal. That's not a deal, guys. That's just addition. That's just math. That's not a deal. You just used math. Why? Oh no. Although it's interesting, they said that they're in metallic, not in. Oh, so then are they metallic and not gold, or is the? Wait, that's odd. Rainbow Brite is silver. Robotech is gold, which I would like to mention. I don't know much about Robotech, but I would imagine that gold would suit. Gold would suit. Not Rainbow Brite, but metallic would suit Robotech more, being, you know, robots and shit. That's just me. And maybe something more like a pink or a... Like what? Are men going to be like, you know, it's going to buy the Rainbow Brite cabinet, but it's in pink, so I don't know. Like, I think maybe they chose the wrong colors, but that's just me. Either way. Yeah. So would I support this? Actually, yes. And you know what? I mean, again, I would support it out of a kind of morbid curiosity. Because I want to see how the game runs, how the Robotech game runs, versus its Game Boy Advance port. So I would do that. 100%. I'm being real with you guys. I would do it. However, let's look at how many people have supported this. So, out of $30,000, there's 22 days to go, by the way, as of this recording, $30,000, 659 backers, and I would like to add that they've doubled that. So they've made $65,939. So are we going to put down the people that have supported this? No. They can support whatever they want to support. Good for them. Hope they're having a good time. Again, I kind of want to support it just for the channel, just for the Those Guys Play channel, just to show you guys how it would look. But I just feel like... What?
Yeah. No, here's hoping Coleco delivers.
I mean, there's nothing against them personally not delivering. There was some issues with Coleco, but again, it was through someone else that owned the Coleco name and was trying to, you know, bring something up. So this company that owns Coleco doesn't seem like they've had any issues in the past, so I don't think they're not going to deliver. The problem is, of course, is that it does feel like people are getting gypped, but you know what? People can put their own price on whatever they want to put their own price on, and if the market believes that this is okay and they want this, then that's fine. Also, it's not like the Robotech game is easy to find. I'm not on the Game Boy Advance. I'm not saying it should be expensive, because I want to make that very clear, but I know it's not super easy to find. So at the same time, like, it's not like there's, you know, there's like hundreds that I've seen on eBay. Maybe there will be more by the time this is out. Maybe people are like, oh, I'll sell my Robotech copy to try and get this, maybe. But I don't think that... I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because if there aren't that many legal Game Boy Advance like copies of Robotech, then yes, I understand why someone maybe would want this. And also, playing shooters on arcade cabinets is as American as apple pie. But I just feel like there should have been one of these should have been a fighting game. I don't know if it should have been a Rainbow Brite fighting game, but I think it would have made more sense.
No, there needs to be a crossover between both of them, and it's
yes. That's what it is. One of them is, even though I don't think, like, one of them's shooting at the other one, and the other one is just a giant fucking strawberry. I know that's not technically the same one.
Like
Strawberry Shortcake, I know.
Crash Purple and Spyro Orange could be Rainbow Tech. It could be Rainbow Tech and Robo Brite.
That's freaking... Oh, God, that's beautiful. No, what I was going to say was, and this was being serious, even though I don't think there were arcade cabinets for this, if there was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fighting games on this, or the side-scrollers on this, that would make more sense.
Pants go.
Yeah, right? Well, my pants are just missing.